Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've had this one for a bit. I didn't want to rush and make a video, but I also don't really need 20 minutes to cover it, so here's a quick take that took a while to get to. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this great discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Alright, enough talk, let's get right into it.
Let's start by delving into the insights shared by our first reviewer.
This reviewer had the opportunity to test out two different versions of a new Wi-Fi 6 router, an 8-stream model and its more powerful sibling. Our reviewer installed them in two separate large homes, both over 3,000 square feet with challenging layouts involving concrete walls. The setup process for the base model was incredibly straightforward, getting it running within minutes using a traditional web browser. However, the higher-end version's recommended mobile app setup proved finicky and failed, forcing a restart using the same easy browser method. A notable physical quirk for both units was the antenna design. The wings needed to be snapped on with considerable force, yet they could still detach easily if the device was moved. This client also noted that while the more advanced model could be wall-mounted, a feature missing on the base unit, the design made it a clumsy process. In terms of performance, the results were solid but not revolutionary. The base model provided a much more stable connection in a large, single-story home, but the range wasn't a dramatic improvement over the much older system it replaced. A bizarre issue also popped up where the internet provider's modem automatically reactivated its own Wi-Fi, creating a conflicting network with the same name. This required a call to tech support to resolve, a good heads-up for others. The more powerful model offered very good coverage and slightly better speeds in a two-story home. Ultimately, this client found that while this new line of routers is a solid step forward with a user-friendly interface, the real-world performance difference between the two models was not significant. For anyone struggling with an older, unreliable system, this type of router is a worthwhile and easy-to-use upgrade, but power users might not find the performance leap to be substantial.
Cool. Let's uncover what our next reviewer has to say.
This reviewer decided to overhaul their entire home network after finally upgrading from a slow DSL connection to a much faster cable internet service. Their main goals were to get the maximum speed possible from the new service on all their devices, and to extend their Wi-Fi signal to cover the whole property, including the garage and the area outside their front door. After setting everything up, our reviewer was immediately impressed with the performance of this new router. The setup process itself was described as a piece of cake, handled almost entirely through a smartphone app that walked them through the steps, including an essential firmware update. Aesthetically, the client found the unit to have a very stylish, futuristic look reminiscent of something from a sci-fi show. The real win, however, was the performance boost. This router had no trouble delivering the full speed of their new internet service to all connected devices, both wired and wireless. The Wi-Fi range was significantly improved, finally providing a strong and stable signal throughout the house, the entire garage, and even a good distance away from the front door, achieving one of their key objectives. Despite the excellent performance, the experience wasn't perfect. The client noted a significant design flaw with the two USB ports on the back, which are positioned so close together that it's impossible to plug in two standard-width flash drives at the same time. Furthermore, they were frustrated that no instructions for configuring these advanced features were included in the box, requiring them to download the full manual from the support website. While these were notable annoyances, this client was ultimately very satisfied with the raw power and extended coverage this router provided, feeling it was a worthwhile investment for the future.
Alright, let's find out what our next reviewer has to share.
This reviewer is genuinely happy with this advanced router, especially after a frustrating experience with another brand. They were initially hesitant to switch back to this brand after their previous one finally gave out, but they're now glad they did, even though it meant spending more money. The setup was straightforward, although our reviewer admits the interface and software could use a serious upgrade in terms of modernity and user-friendliness. Despite the somewhat clunky software, this client is impressed by the router's performance. With over 20 wireless devices constantly connected in their home, everything runs smoothly and reliably. They consistently get excellent speeds on multiple computers throughout the house, even through walls with many other devices simultaneously using the network. The reviewer even uses it to host a family cloud via connected dual SSD enclosure, and it handles the task admirably. One of the most pleasant surprises was how cool this device runs. Apparently it even has a built-in fan, which is a huge relief for someone who values keeping their tech cool. While the price was a significant con, they hope it translates to longevity and consistent performance, similar to their previous device from the same brand. The looks aren't their favorite, as they prefer a more modern, less Star Wars aesthetic. After using it for a while, our reviewer is still very impressed with the router's core functionality. However, they did dock a star due to the brand's push for the mobile app, which they find overly simplified and lacking in the features and information offered by the older software. They urge the company to improve its app and GUI to match the user-friendliness and comprehensiveness of competitors, lest they lose customers. Despite this frustration, the router itself remains rock solid and reliable.
That's it for this one. If you found this helpful, tap that like button and subscribe for more. Got thoughts? Questions? Let's talk in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.